Hey guys, Adam here again for Fly or Die YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be documenting my fishing adventure on the Lower Illinois River. The Lower Illinois River is a tail race of Lake Tenkiller. Just got off I-40 south of Gore, Oklahoma. Heading north. We're going through the town of Gore, head on up to one of the top accesses of the river. Right now I'm approaching the bridge that takes me over the mighty Arkansas River. The Lower Illinois is a special river. It's a year-round trout fishery. However, due to generation, there's no evidence of trout spawning in this river. They do hold over, and it's continually stocked year-round. One of the things that makes it so awesome is the Arkansas River, which I'm driving over right now, holds a lot of striped bass. Especially in the summertime, the striped bass move up into the cooler water coming out of Lake Tenkiller, flowing down the Lower Illinois River, and feed heavily on shad, other bait fish, as well as the trout. I believe the Oklahoma state record for striped bass came from this river. Unfortunately, I will not be targeting striped bass today. I'll be targeting trout. The other thing about this river, it is affected by generation. So when you're driving a ways to get here, like I did today, you want to make sure to check the generation schedule as well as the real-time gauge levels and flows in cubic feet per second. One good place to do this, and the resource I used today to check this out, is the Trout Unlimited TU 420 chapter, the Dave Whitlock chapter. They have a Facebook page and a website. Under resource link section, they have all the links you need to find all the info you need to make the decision whether to make the drive and fish this water or not. The real-time lake levels, real-time flows, gauge heights. The best collection of links that you can find in one spot. You got all the links separate if you wanted to. It's much easier to use what they've already put together for us. I really appreciate that. I want to give them a shout out for everything that they do for the waters of Oklahoma, as well as the fishermen of Oklahoma. So unfortunately today, it shows no generation. However, real-time flows, gauge heights are showing that there is going to be water moving. So it's going to be an adventure, showing about 9 foot high on the gauges, and showing 1,800, give or take, maybe a little more cubic feet per second, which is moving pretty good. It's going to be interesting meeting a buddy up here. We talked about it last night, and we're going to fish it anyway. Waiting at these levels is going to be dangerous, especially if you've never been to the river and don't know the spots where this is feasible. But we both fish this river a lot, and we're confident we can still have a good time, catch fish. Haven't seen each other in a while, so we're gonna hang out and see what we can do. We'll be starting at the powerhouse area. Probably, actually, there's a parking lot below the actual powerhouse. We call it the lower parking lot. I think that's where we're gonna meet up and see what the river looks like. Decide where we're gonna start fishing. I just turned on the road for the Tenkiller powerhouse trout stream. This road is the top of the trout waters. And there's two options down this road. Following this straight will take you to the powerhouse where they generate water. And also they have a sluice gate there that they can run water out of if they need to release more. As in today, I think they might be working on the generators, so why it's showing no generation but yet still flowing water through the sluice gates. The road to the right here goes down to what we call the lower parking lot. I'm gonna mosey on up here to the powerhouse, call my wife, tell her I made it, take a look at the river. My buddy should be here in about 20 minutes and we'll start fishing. I'm approaching the powerhouse parking lot. As you can see, they have construction going on. Some birds flying in formation. It's pretty cool. It's not uncommon to see bald eagles in this area. Very pretty rock outcroppings and cliffs up here. I'm gonna get out and go check out the water. Alright, so I walked up to the powerhouse. This first little section here is where they do the generation. They got 4 gates. Sometimes they run 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. There's a path down beside this fence. When there's no generation, you can get across over to that island. There's actually some rocks that stick up here you can fish from. Very good spot to fish. A lot of conventional people come up here and fish for striper as well. As you can tell, today they're not generating, but they are blowing the water out of the sluice gates over there. It's at around over 1,800 cubic feet per second. That means the river is moving. But we will find places to fish. And I'm pretty confident that we'll catch plenty of trout. Alright, this is the path right as you come in to the powerhouse parking. We're here by the bathrooms. Goes down to a little peninsula over there. Probably be back up here in a little bit to fish this whole bank from the powerhouse down this west side of the river down towards this peninsula. But my buddy's almost here. I'm gonna drive back down to the lower parking lot and meet up with him.
Ayuk over 59.5.
I came back down the road I entered on, then took that first turn. Now I'm approaching the lower parking lot. Cars here too, so we're not the only people looking to brave the river conditions. And like I said, you know this river, they'll be able to get in to fish in these conditions. Shouldn't be a big deal. Here I am riverside, the lower parking lot. The land you see across from me is actually an island. The river splits around it. Most of the flow runs down the far side. You can see it coming out from behind the island over there. We should be able to cross this little section either up there, you see those ripples, or even possibly right here where I'm at. Doesn't look too deep. Water is somewhat clear. You can see the bottom right here, about 3 foot of water, 2 foot of water. So we could either fish the bottom into this island or the top end of it from this location. What we may also do is a couple hundred yards downstream, where you can see the rough water, there's a small fall drop in the river that we call the rock wall. We'll probably end up fishing down there. It's a nice path to walk down the south end of this parking lot to get to it. Did just see some rises right out in here. Let's see if I can see a couple more here before I stop videotaping. These flows, you definitely have to be careful. Always be careful wading rivers, but water's up and moving like this, especially careful, and don't go anywhere you don't feel confident going, or anywhere you don't know what the river bottom's like. Well, sitting here waiting on my buddy. I think he just pulled up. Just fishing right off this first hole. First little fish of the day. Took the mega worm, mini mega worm. Alright, down at the south end, this island I showed y'all. Just over there for a minute. Water is moving. It's hard to get down. There's any trout hanging over there. They're tucked on the bottom. I added some weight, lengthened my tippet. I think I was getting pretty close to the bottom. Not much luck. Moved over to this other side, the near side of the parking lot. About a waist deep riffle through here at this level, this height, this flow, right above the little rock wall here, the lower parking lot. Started getting into them. Got a guy down here in my net, number 8 so far. They've all been 11 inches or so. I want to show y'all, it's one of the spots in Catch Fish 2000 CFS, 1800, a little north of 1800 CFS. I got 10 fish from that spot, and I was about to move on down the river. There's a couple more spots, but buddy got something's up with his waders. We want to go back to the truck, and might end up moving up to the powerhouse since we're going to be back at the vehicles. I don't know. The other thing I forgot to tell y'all while I was down there in that little riffle, probably indicator fish it. With the water moving so fast, I went ahead and used my nymph rod. I could bounce along the bottom. I'll be at the mercy of the indicator getting drug. Seemed to work pretty good. Did bring both my rods. I'll probably keep both of them with me today for that reason, since flows are up. I normally don't here. Normally throw a lot of my indicator rod a lot of it with no generation, just slow, deep. Well, not necessarily deep, just a lot of it's slow, hard to Euro nymph. Or a couple spots I do like the Euro nymph here. And if I'm gonna hit them up, I'll go switch my rod. Try not to carry 2 rods as much as I can. It's kind of annoying carrying both of them around, but I think that's what I'm doing today, just dealing with it. That way I can Euro nymph some of this faster water. Alright, down here below the rock wall, I'm gonna walk down this bank down towards, there's some no trespassing signs down here on the bank. Number 5 so far from here, Euro nymphing. Just flat, flowing water. And the water is low, off. You can see some structure down here. But today, ooh, there you go. You can't see where the holes and structure is. I'm just trying to have to kind of probe my Euro rod, and fish have been random along this bank. Haven't got to one spot where I found a bunch of them holding. I'm gonna work my way back up towards that guy up there, the bottom of the rock wall, and probably fish right above it as well before I make my way to the powerhouse. Alright, so I said they were random up through here. I got to a spot where I caught 3 pretty quick, including that last one I had on video. So I'm gonna see if I can catch one on video and show y'all how I like to fight. Everybody has their own different ways of doing things, but this is, hopefully I can get one on video and show y'all how I like to fight fish, either big fish that want to run downstream, or even these smaller fish in this fast current. See if I can get one on video. Oh, maybe. Bingo. Got the indicator rod. Hooks on it. Unless I foul hooked it, it was a pretty decent fish. But it's trying to run down the river. I'm gonna keep my rod low. No, yeah, dang it, I foul hooked him. Alright, I'll be back. He's not gonna do what I was wanting to show y'all. Alright, I went back to my Euro rod. Got one on. Fish is downstream from me. Doesn't feel like a big one, but I'm gonna keep my rod low and parallel to the water. Just nudge this fish upstream. Most of the time, they will swim upstream for you. So you're not trying to fight them downstream from you. Once you get the fish upstream from you, what you do is then you lift, let him, the current bring him to your net. Little dude. It's kind of good because it gave me a chance to really working to show y'all how fish's tendency is to swim upstream. If you keep him, you don't want to try to pull him upstream high in the water column, because the water is much faster up top, of course, than at the bottom. You want to keep that rod low, parallel. You still want to keep the butt pushed out away from you, so that you're using that full flex of that rod tip. Same way as if you had it up. Keep the tip up. You can also keep the tip up, but sideways. So keep the reel pushed out. You don't want it to go straight down, because then you can't use your rod tip to protect your tippet. If you keep him low, keep him towards the bottom, keep pressure on him upstream, he will swim upstream, and you can raise up and let the current bring him right to your net. That's how I try to do it almost all the time. If I got a buddy with me, it's a big fish, my buddy's downstream, sometimes I'll swing him down to my buddy who's downstream. Of course, if it's a real big fish and he's really running, you're gonna have to go downstream with him. But as I do that, I always keep my rod upstream side and then work downstream and try to catch up to him as I'm gently nudging him upstream. And I always try to get them upstream from me before I net. It's good to practice on the smaller fish. So that's the way I fight fish, especially in faster current and bigger fish you try to run downstream. Now I moved right up here below the rock wall. So there's not much of a drop at this water level. The normal levels, the generation off, these rocks extend pretty much all the way across. It's got 2 plunge pools. They're great to fish. Right now, I'm trying to fish this seam, the close edge of this fast water. That's where this guy was sitting. Pretty fish. There he goes. There's a bunch of fish rising right here. These spin casters are casting out. This is directly above the rock wall. One of the best and easiest places to fish with high water levels. We even caught fish here. They're running all 4 gates open. A buddy up there working those riffles. I'm just sitting relaxing, taking a break on the rock wall here. Hi, I'm back up here, back at the powerhouse, or was earlier this morning. Walked down that path over there from the parking lot. Came down this little peninsula. And now I'm gonna work my way up this kind of slower edge right here. Around the bend, a buddy up there, and fish the bank all the way up to the powerhouse. Well, packed up, heading home. Had a good day, despite the high flows. Got 25, 30, somewhere around there at the lower parking lot. Another 10 or so up at the powerhouse. It's getting kind of late in the day. It's a long drive home. Stop, get something to eat. Get back to Texas. Lower parking lot was better as far as fishing in the high flows. The best spot at the powerhouse was the end of the peninsula. There's a little foam line out there. Kind of made a little eddy, and caught most of the trout right there at the actually floating indicator, just kind of floating in the eddy. They come up and take it. So water temperature was 42 degrees, a little cooler than I was expecting. I did not look at the water temperature on the TU 420 site before I left. Should have done that. Much colder, and they would have been real lethargic. But even at 42 degrees, they were pretty active and hungry. Even rising, hitting little midges on top. So thanks for fishing with me again today, and see you next time.